Okay, good evening. Once again, everyone. I welcome you to today's AMA session where we'll be discussing and reviewing one of our program and product of NavaDAO ecosystem, which is NavaX. So if you're here live and direct, I would love you to wave your hands up to welcome everyone. We have people from different parts of the world, from India, from South Africa, from Pakistan, from Nigeria, from Ghana. We have people from Indonesia. We have people from a lot of countries. I think recently in a previous email, I had someone from different countries, and I hope you can actually introduce yourself. So if you're representing any country, one person only per region, you can raise your hand up and then introduce yourself. We love to know where you're watching us live from, and we love to know which region, which continents, which states, and wherever you're from. So I'm just going to give room for like 5 people, but before that, I'm going to welcome our co-host today. Alina is joining us today as the co-host. So Alina, you can say hi to everyone.
Hello, Smart. Hello, community NavaDAO.
Okay, I think I saw Alina. So that's great. So if you're representing any country, I would like you to raise your hand up, so I can give you a moment to share some feedback from your region. Okay, who is there? Okay, I think I saw some hands up previously. If you're representing any region, Africa, you're representing Asia, you're representing South America, Australia, and different continents, you can raise your hand up and then you have a word to say and have something to tell the global community. Okay, over to you, Versatile. You are on. You can give your review.
Yeah, good afternoon, good day, community NavaDAO. My name is Versatile. I'm representing the African region from Nigeria. I'm excited to be here. We are in Nigeria. We are excited to be here in NavaDAO. We are fully prepared for what is coming in the future, getting excited for the launch of the upcoming future. And most importantly, we are here to learn. We are here to get the strategy, and we are here to know more on NavaX for us to position ourselves and make the most from this amazing opportunity. Thank you, admin.
Exciting. That is exciting. Thank you so much, Versatile. I love that. I picked a lot of lessons from it. Versatile is out there telling the whole world that Nigeria is ready. Nigeria is excited. Nigeria is so passionate and getting actively involved in NavaDAO ecosystem and adopting what it has to offer the world. So it's also advising us to be actively involved in NavaDAO. So thank you so much for that inspiring message from a very hardworking Nigerian out there. So if there's another person, maybe one more person before we start, I can give room for one more person. So if you want to represent your country, your region, or you have something to say, okay, fine. I have Ravi here. Ravi, you're on. You can give us your feedback.
So hello everyone. My name is Ravi. I am from India. NavaDAO is a very good system. The many people in my team in excited. This is best project. Don't miss opportunity, everyone. Thank you to all.
Okay, I think he's not able to give us some voice feedback, so we are going to progress with our topic today. So once again, good evening for those of you joining us. We are live today with NavaDAO AMA Live. Today we are discussing officially on one of our program and products, which is NavaX. We are looking at the review about NavaX, the methods and models adopted, and what makes NavaX program unique in the global ecosystem. First, I would like to tell you what NavaX is. So NavaX is an automated referral system program based on Polygon blockchain that combines binary distributions, referral payments, and gamified NFTs with access to limited allocation of our NavaDAO ecosystem. So it's a referral-based program that offers various services like gamification through NFTs while providing a financial tool to create financial cash flow. So our program is not just a referral-based program like most other projects or previous models of what you will find in other projects out there, but rather NavaX is actually a kind of a gamified product that becomes a synergy and creates a synergy for the entire ecosystem. What I mean by that is NavaX integrates and intertwine with other parts of our ecosystem, ensuring that active participation doesn't only give you guaranteed income opportunity, but also provides special access key to various products and programs of our ecosystem, while also providing boost for several other products and programs of our ecosystem through a process we call gamification of NFTs. So these extra activities are actually acquired by actively involved in building the structure. So as you're building the structure and earning some income, you are also receiving some extra benefit, which are gamified NFTs, which will later become an access to other programs where you would benefit and receive additional rewards, such as discounts in other programs and such as also special access. So this particular program is designed not just to be a referral-based program, but to provide various incentives when you actively participate in the program. So today we want to look at some of the models that is used in the NavaX program, the purpose and the visions behind the products, and how you can be an active participant in the NavaX program. So today we'll be looking at some review on different aspects of the NavaX program, and I want you to follow me on our the live slides here, which is going to be a guide to what we are doing today. So NavaX is not just a program, but is actually a product of our ecosystem. And this particular product combines various aspects of our ecosystem together, including integrated products within the NavaX program. Because within the NavaX program, you're not just having a financial tool for creating wealth, but you're also having access to gamified products like NFT, which I'm going to discuss later on as we progress. So NavaX is a product of the NavaDAO ecosystem. And as you know already, that the NavaDAO ecosystem is a blockchain community that adopts several principles and tools like decentralized management. So in decentralized management, this is where decisions are actually made by the entire community through DAO voting, actually in that process eliminating centralized controls and at the same time ensuring fairness. Now, another principle that is adopted in the NavaDAO ecosystem is the innovative technology. Through the integration of things like GameFi, AI, and of course AI, this has helped to enable our ecosystem to create products for sustainable income and of course convenient interaction. So our products doesn't just give you income, but allows you to interact with blockchain tools, incorporating several things like Web3 tools that gives you opportunity to explore the concepts of blockchain. Another principle that is adopted in our ecosystem is transparency and security. So NavaDAO developments adopt what we call open source code. And this particular open source code has actually undergone several smart contract audits that ensures the transparency of processes and protections of finances. So it means we are fully protected because we've actually passed through smart contract audits. Another function or principle that is adopted in our ecosystem is multifunctional platform. So NavaX is just part of our ecosystem. So, but we have a multifunctional platform that incorporates and intersects various blockchain tools like Web3 tools, blockchain tools like GameFi, referral programs, AI trading, innovations to create an ecosystem where you can earn money while being entertained. So this is a very wonderful ecosystem, and NavaX is just one of our products. Now, what is actually the vision and what should be your interest as a new a person joining blockchain for the first time, or kind of a blockchain enthusiast, what should be your interest? One of your interests is that Nava DAO ecosystem actually builds on betting on real value. So we are not just another new referral-based program that is just based on referral, but we are creating something very unique by innovating blockchain technology and bringing out real value. So when you get involved in our ecosystem, you're getting real value. You're getting real value for the products you buy. You're getting real value for the programs you get engaged, because we've created these products and games in such a way that it adds value and creating utility through the integration of each product. And not just that, creating utility through a synergy of all these products combined together. So another one is that NavaX is not a referral, just a referral-based program, but is a tool for creating financial cash flow. I keep saying it that it's not the regular referral-based system where you can only gain value through marketing, but NavaX program provides a gamified product that you can use to join interactive games and get involved in different aspects of blockchain and make money and earn an income while actually being entertained. So these are some of the things that should interest you about our ecosystem. So NavaX is a new generational referral program that adopts several things. For example, gamification of NFTs, and also involves instant payment where 100% of income is distributed across the entire network, offering a simple, secure, and transparent way to earn income through NFTs. Users also gain access to limited token sales. So with your active participation in NavaX program, you also gain access to token sales and also gain special privileges in future products and programs. So it means that when you get involved in the NavaX program today, you're not just earning some income, but you are also gaining access to potential benefits in future where you can actually utilize your previous participation in NavaX will become very useful in the future. So there are a whole lot of aspects of NavaX that we are going to be reviewing as we progress. So I want you to follow me up. So now NavaX program is a referral-based system that adopts gamified NFT. Now what it means here is that you are going to be having, when you partner with a NavaX program, automatically when you register, you are going to create a NFT. Now, these NFTs are not just another collectible or non-fungible tokens, but these NFTs are actually indescribable in the sense that these NFTs provide a lot of special access, and these NFTs are actually minted automatically that provides a gamified access to other programs of our project. Now, what are the access? For example, we have our Nava game system. So with your NFTs, you can gain access to the Nava games. Okay, so the higher the levels that you have in your NFT, the higher the rarity of your NFT, which is depending on the levels that you've activated in your NavaX program, which also involves the reactivations that you've done, and of course the upgrades that you've done, promotes the value of your NFTs. And so the higher this value, the higher the values of these NFTs, the higher your chances and the higher the level of participation you will have in the Nava games. So this means that while you are actively promoting the NavaX and receiving income from the program, you are also building another system that is going to provide more incentive in other programs, which is the Nava games, like I've explained to you. So I'm going to be giving you some review in starting with the program itself, the marketing plan, and how to get involved in the program. So now NavaX is a 10-tier level program that offers various incentives, like you're going to be earning different kinds of income, but income is distributed, 100% of the income is distributed across the network. Now, to get involved in the NavaX program, a user would have to activate each of these levels, comprising of 10 levels. Now, each of these levels are independently operated. It means that these levels exist and you can operate these levels independently. But for you to access the next level, you have to activate the previous level. Therefore, meaning that these levels are activated sequentially. So now, how do you get to start with the NavaX program? To start with the NavaX program, you're going to start with tier 1, which is the first level in the structure. Now, with this level now, the price of the level is 20 DAI, ensuring that it is easily affordable by everyone, but the price of each next level is as twice the price of the previous level, meaning as you keep going further, you're having twice the level. For example, for level 1, you need to start with 20 DAI. So for level 2, it's going to be twice of 20 DAI, which is 40 DAI, and so on and so forth, down to level 10, where you are spending at least 10,240 DAI. So in my screen, you have an illustration of the certain prices you can pay for different levels. So for a beginner, you can start from 20 DAI, and you can build your structure independently and promote each of these structures independently. Meanwhile, for you to get to the next level, you have to activate the previous level. In essence, it is activated sequentially. So when you get involved in the NavaX program, how does the income is distributed and how does the system distribute the income? Like I mentioned earlier, that the NavaX program distributes 100% of the income across the network. Now, how is this income distributed? Now, this income is distributed in two ways, which is through linear payment. 80% of the income is distributed as a linear payment, while the 20% is distributed as a referral payment. So we are going to get there, and I'm going to have an illustration and show you how you can actually earn income using the NavaX marketing program. So meanwhile, I would love to show you what percentage you can earn at different lines and different dates of each tier in the NavaX program. So for every person you recruit, you're going to have 10% referral bonus goes to the person that refer. That is the first level direct referral. So in marketing, we call it direct referral. While 10% goes to the second level referral, in marketing, it is called indirect referral. Indirect referral are people that come through you, but through the partners that you recruited into your structure. So these people may not necessarily be invited by you, but are invited by people that have come through your network. So if you are following, I would love to see you raise your hand up. If you are following, I'd love to see you raise your hand up. Okay? Can I get some feedback? Okay, I can see Beta wants to speak. You can actually give me a feedback by reacting. Yes, that's great. That's better. That is better. So in income is distributed through a 100% distribution through what we call linear payment, which is 80% of the total income, and 20% is distributed as a referral program. And I'm going to tell you how this model is unique in the next session, in the next discussion. Now, the slots are actually filled from top to bottom, from left to right, and there's no slight changes in this. Is actually very fixed. So it means that it creates a system that permits certain blockchain principles, which I'm going to explain in the next session for you, and as you keep following me. So now let's get on it. Now, basically two things that you get, two basic activities that you're going to be doing in your NavaX program. There are basically two things, basic activities that you are going to do to generate income in the NavaX program. The first one is activation, and the second one is reinvestment. So these are the two basic things that I'm going to be reviewing in the course of this illustration. The first one is activation, and the second one is reinvestment. So I'm going to start with activation. So now, activation is a process of being placed in a structure within the NavaX matrix. It's a process where a new member signs up and is being placed in a slot in the structure of a NavaX matrix. So what it simply means that you sign up with NavaX program, you sign the smart contracts, and you pay for a level, and you are being given a slot in the matrix. And on my screen here, I have an example of how the structure looks like. So if you look closely to the right-hand side, you can find a structure here that shows the 14 slots. Now, in each of the tiers in the NavaX program, there are about 14 slots, and it is being divided into 3 lines. The first line having about 2 slots, and the second line having about 4 slots, and the last line, which is the third line, having about 8 slots. So now, how is the income being distributed across these 4 slots? We are looking at the linear payment, which is the 80% of income, and of course the referral payment, which is 20%. This is where I want to give you a little illustration. So when a user activates a slot in the program, the amount of their payment is distributed. Of course, I already told you 100% is distributed across the network. Now, in the first line, the user is going to receive 20% for slot activations that occurs in the first line. The user is going to receive 20% for slot activations that occur in the second line. And the user is going to receive 40% bonus for slots that, is allocated in the third line. What does this mean? What does it mean by bonus? It simply means if you are activating a user, for example, in level 1, which is 20 DAI, and that person falls in your first line, which is the first line in your deck, in that particular activation, you are going to earn 20%. In this case, is 4 DAI. So you're going to earn 4 DAI for the first slot here, first slot in line 1. You're going to earn 2 DAI in the second slot in line 1. Then when you go over to the line 2 here, it therefore means you're going to earn 20%, which happens to still be 4 DAI. So you're going to earn 4 DAI here, 4 DAI here, 4 DAI here, and 4 DAI here. Now I'm going to give you an illustration on how this income is generated and how the income is accumulated in the subsequent slides. Okay? Now in the third line, it also means you're going to earn about 40%, which in this case is going to be 8 DAI across the 8 slots. Okay, now if you take a notice at this diagram, you can see that some slots has been labeled as P. What does this mean? We are going to get to know in the next slide. So 80% of the income is distributed as a linear payment across the matrix. Now, if you add up this 20% plus 20% plus 40%, this actually amounts to 80%. Then how is the remaining 20% distributed? This remaining 20% is distributed across the person who referred and, of course, the second level referral, which I'm going to illustrate to you in the next slide. So let's get on there. Now, I'll start with 20%. How is the 20% referral program distributed across the network? Now, for example, let's assume that you are Nick for this illustration, and then Nick invites Mike, who happens to be a direct referral. You can see here on the left-hand side, a direct referral. And this direct referral of Nick, who happens to be Mike, purchases level 1 for 20 DAI. In this case, since 10% of the referral bonus will go to Nick for inviting Mike, so in this case, Mike is going to earn 10% of 20 DAI, which is 2 DAI. This is the first illustration. Now let's look at other examples. This is going to be as simple as it needs to be. Another example would be an indirect referral. Indirect referral means, irrespective of whether you invited a participant, as long as that participant falls into the second referral in your referral tree, it means you are also going to receive 10% from every activation that takes place. So what it means is Nick invited Mike, and then Mike invited Daniel. So it means you're going to earn money from both Nick. You're going to earn money when Daniel also activates slot, because it's an indirect referral from you. So now this is it now, for example. In this case, this is me, Nick, and I invited Mike to fill up my slots. And then Mike had an indirect referral. So it means the 10% will still come to you because you invited Nick, and Mike is an indirect referral. Whereas Nick is also going to receive 10%, which is 2 DAI in this case. So both Nick and you yourself, you're going to earn 2 DAI. So this is an example of what? Indirect referral. So this could be you, or this could be your downline, which is somebody that you recruit into your structure, and that person happens to fall in the downward trend of your structure. So you, in this case, you are the upline, which means you are in the upper section of the structure. So let's get on to see other examples of how you can receive your referral bonus in the NavaX marketing plan. If you're following, you can actually give me a thumbs up if you are following the illustration. Okay, that's great. So now let's look at another illustration of what I was trying to explain to you. Now look at it right now. This is an example of how you can earn indirect referrals from the NavaX program. Now in this case, this is you, for example. And then you have a referral, which happens to be Nick in this case, whereas Nick invites Mike. And so in this case, Mike is Nick's referral, while Nick is your referral. So from here, when Nick activates a particular level, as long as Nick is in this structure, you are earning 10% from short activations, whereas Nick also earns 10%, amounting to the 10% illustration. Now I'm going to tell you a unique feature in this particular referral system that makes it very unique compared to other models of matrix marketing in other projects. Now let's go on further to see other examples. Now, another example here is how you can earn money from multiple referrals, because the power of leverage is actually what brings, unlimited income. So in this case, it doesn't really matter how many persons that a Nick or refers, or how many persons that your referral refers, but what matters is that these people will fall into your second line of your referral tree, ensuring that you can keep earning from your referral bonus, irrespective if you invited them or not. So in this case, let's look at an example. This is you, for example, you referred Nick. And so Nick falls into your first slot as your direct referral. And then Nick went on to recruit Nick's brother and of course Mike. So in this case, Nick has two referrals, which is Mike and his brother. In this case, Nick is going to earn 2 DAI from Mike, and he's also going to earn 2 DAI from Nick's brother. So making a total of 4 DAI, you in this case, because Mike and Nick is your indirect referral falling into the second level of your referral tree, you are also going to earn 4 DAI. So it therefore means you can earn so much, you can earn unlimitedly as you keep promoting your structure and developing your structure and the depth of your structure. So this is another example of how you can earn. Now, let's get on to the next payment, which is the linear payment. Now, out of the 100% income that comes into the matrix of NavaX program, 80% is distributed as a linear payment, which is paid according to the position. So it therefore means that the income, the linear payment, is very positional and relative to the structure of the owner of that structure. Now, let's get on to it. Now, I'm going to be using an example. In this case, I'm still going to be using Nick. And I'm also going to be using Mike also as an example. In this case, Nick invites Mike. Now, let's see what happens and how you earn. You can already identify these two slots in the next screen that I'm going to show you. Let's go there. Now, in this case, this is your upline, and Nick happens to be you. And the next slot here, the first slot here in the first line represents Mike. So Mike activates level 1 and pays 20 DAI. So how will the income be distributed? In simple terms, I'm going to give an illustration of the total income that you are going to receive, taking into consideration the income that is deferred for reinvestment. In this case, so you're going to earn 10% from Mike from the first slot in line 1, and you're also going to earn 20% from the second slot in line 2. So in this case right now, from the level 1 activation, you have already earned about 4 DAI for level 1 activation. In the next line, which is the second line, the first slot, you are also going to earn about 16 DAI. That is the income you earn for promoting your structure in line 2, that's using level 1 as an example. And in the last line, you're going to earn 40%. In this case, you are going to earn 8 DAI per each of the slot, amounting to 64 DAI in total. So meaning, after promoting your matrix, that's level 1, you are already earning an income of 8 DAI from the line 1. You are also earning an income of 16 DAI from line 2. And of course, you're earning 64 DAI in line 3. Now, how is this income being remunerated? Let's get on to discover how this income is going to be received, taking into consideration the reinvestment. Now, which takes me to the next section, which is activation of the next level. Now, how do you activate the subsequent levels? Like I mentioned earlier, the levels must be activated sequentially, irrespective of the fact that each of the level is independent. For you to activate the next level, you have to activate the previous level. It is as simple as that. So sequentially, you can activate all levels from level 1 to level 10, and thereby having an active cycle, ensuring that you can keep earning from the ecosystem. Now, why is it important for you to activate all levels from the start? I'm also going to review to you why it is important. And let's get on to the next session, which is reinvestment. Remember, I mentioned earlier that there are two basic activities for income generation in the NavaX program, which is what? Activation and reinvestment. Now, what is reinvestment? Now, reinvestment process. Now, when a participant has completely filled up a structure, that is, the slots are filled up, the system automatically opens another cycle for that same level for that user, ensuring that this user keeps earning from that same cycle, and that's what we call recycling income. So it means that when you must have filled up your structure from line 1 to line 3, the system automatically reinvests you in that same structure, in that same slot, in that same level, so that you can keep earning over and over again, creating what I call unlimited loop income. Now, let's get on to it to see how this is achieved in the next slide. Now, location of slots for reinvestment happens at about 3 levels, 3 slots in each of the metrics, irrespective of the metrics that is involved. Either it is level 1, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, till the last tier, which is tier 10. In this case, the reinvestment slots are the second line, which is the 3rd place in the second line, and of course, the 2nd place and the 7th place in the 3rd line. So this is where the income is being deferred. What I mean by the income is being withheld in a special smart contract to be used and accumulated to be used for what? Reinvestment, so that you can keep earning from that same tiers and you won't have to reinvest more money. So it means when you activate a level for once, you are not going to provide more money to activate that level. You are going to keep earning from that level due to what? Reactivation, or what we call reinvestment. So these are the positions that the payments are being deferred for what? For accumulation for what? Reinvestment. Now let's look at an illustration in the next slide. Now if you take a look at my screen here, I have here an illustration showing the 14 slots and outlining, highlighting the slot for what? Reinvestment. So it means that the second line and the 3rd slot in the second line is being earmarked for what? For reinvestment. Whereas the 2nd slot and the 7th slot in the line 3 is also being what? Accumulated for what? For reinvestment. Now let's see how the reinvestment occurs and what happens after reinvestment in the next slide. Now, when a user fills the 14 slots, the system automatically counts that as one cycle. Here it can be clearly seen at the top left corner of your screen in your dashboard, showing you number 1. What this signified means that you've actually earned complete income in that particular matrix, and then you created one cycle of income, opening another cycle for you to earn more. So when you have moved past this stage, in the next phase, you are going to notice a new slot, an empty slot is going to be open for you. This time around, you are active again, creating a new slot while you are also part of your upline structure. So when reinvestment occurs, the system places you directly in the lineage of your upline, at the same time creating a new structure for yourself. So this is reinvestment. Now, we want to look at some other things that you can get in reinvestment for you to clearly understand that you reinvested, and to take note of all the cycles and how many times you reinvested and how many times you've completed the metrics. You can clearly see here at the top left corner of your screen that shows here number 2, meaning that this user has recycled level 1 twice, meaning this user has earned $8, $16, $64 2 times. Now, let's get on to other aspects of our illustration, which reviews the highlights of NavaX program. But before I go into this, I would love to highlight some of the benefits of the NavaX program and what makes it very unique and what the principle that involved. The first principle there is called overflow. Most people know it as spillover, while the second principle is called compression. And what does this mean? Now, if you notice the NavaX metrics program, you would notice that the income and the slots are being filled from top to bottom, from left to right. Now, this system ensures that there's always an overflow, meaning that as you keep recruiting more people into your metrics, these people are filling up your slot from left to right, from top to bottom, ensuring that the slot is filled, creating depth. Now, what does this mean? It therefore means that as a person actively promoting NavaX program, you can actually receive income, spillover income from your upward trend. These are excess overflow that has created in the metrics, but now it's being spilled over to the below structure, creating what we call overlaps income, overlapping each other and falling into the lower matrix. So this particular system is a very unique model which highlights one of the benefits of our ecosystem, which is team collaboration. What does it mean? Now, I've studied in previous AMAs, like in previous models of network marketing or maybe smart contract business, you discover that most of the team is always demarketized. What it means is that the new people are finding it difficult to be part of the income generation, and therefore, in the long run, lose interest in the project and give up because of lack of what incentive and results coming forth. Now, let's look at an example. I love using this ideology to explain smart contract business. I love using the hotel ideology. Consider your metrics, consider your structure as a hotel, and consider NavaX like a hotel service, an organization that offers hotels to people, investors. So let's look at your metrics as a hotel where you register with a hotel service and they give you a hotel room with rooms. In this case, NavaX is the hotel with 14 rooms in each of the metrics. So you registered with NavaDAO, and NavaDAO provides you with a hotel with 14 rooms. And then how can you earn income? By, promoting your hotel and getting customers to use your hotels. That's you're renting out the services. So it also means each time you are recruiting somebody into your structure, we are also looking at a customer coming into your hotel room, and then they use your hotel room, and then you make money, and then they go. So what it means is that each time you get a new customer joining your hotel, you are earning an income, and when a customer leaves, and then you have new customers coming in, that is, you are reactivating, which means you're reactivating the service that you're giving to customers. So let's look at that model and compare it with how this helps to build, team collaboration. For example, there are a lot of people that will get involved in the blockchain, in smart contract, decentralized communities without prior knowledge of marketing, without initial knowledge of how to market and how to, engage, recruit people into their structure. So what it means is that you're going to have people who have little knowledge of marketing or no knowledge of marketing. So how does NavaX promote team collaboration? How does it ensure that everyone is carried along and everyone can be part of the NavaDAO earning ecosystem? What it means is that you are going to invite someone into your slot. These are people that may have little or no knowledge of marketing, but when they get involved in your project, irrespective of if they've invited somebody directly or not, they have opportunity to earn from what we call the overflow, which is slot payments that fall from the top to the bottom in order to fill the slot from left to right, from top to bottom. So it therefore means you're going to have someone who will join your team, and all of a sudden the person benefits from spillover, earning some money. This little income automatically motivates such person joining your team for the first time, because they will believe that if they can earn when they did nothing, it means they can earn more when they do something. So this actually drives motivation and also drives active participation of both people who are actually good in marketing and those who are not good in marketing. So this is a very unique system that you cannot find. And let me give you an example. In previous models and in other projects, you will find out that the marketing structure is developed in such a way that you cannot earn any income without directly referring somebody. And then when you refer someone, you find out that at the first line of such metrics, you may not have any income at all until you keep inviting deeper into the depth of that structure. But with NavaX program, irrespective of every slot that somebody joins, you are entitled to an income, thereby increasing motivation to promote your structure and build deeper depths in your structure. So this is a very unique model that improves and ensures that everybody is carried along. Another example of a mechanism that is there in the NavaX program is called a compression. And this compression is a very unique model that takes into consideration and allows that the 100% of income is always distributed in the network. How? For example, if someone comes into the project and then tries to activate a slot, but the next upline or his immediate upline is not active in the system. So the system uses what we call compression, compress upward, by checking for the next active upline in the uptrend and ensures that that income is distributed up to 10 levels. So the compression mechanism is there to ensure that 100% income is always distributed across the system. Now, let's quickly jump onto the highlights of NavaX program. So because of our time, now I've mentioned some of the benefits already. The unique ecosystem model, which promotes team collaboration, number one, offers gamification of products, allowing users not to just earn money, but to be actively involved in adopting blockchain tools to create financial wealth. So this is one of the unique model of our ecosystem. The next one is creating a synergy for our ecosystem product and program. So the NavaDAO ecosystem is designed in such a way that every product complements each other, creating real utility for each of the product and program, and also ensuring that all these products are interconnected in such a way that your active participation in one product will provide incentive and boost in the next product, ensuring that all effort is taken into consideration. So it's a very unique model. Another one is an exclusive ecosystem benefits. By being involved in the NavaX program, you have gotten access to something called a passport NFT, which are soul bound NFTs, giving you access to other products of the ecosystem. So these are one of the highlights and the benefits of the NavaX program. Another one is Navacoin allocations. By being actively involved in a NavaX promotion, you gain allocations into the token sales of our coin, Navacoin, and this is determined through the level of the NFTs, which can actually be received according to the levels you activate in the NavaX program, the reactivations you do, and of course the upgrades you do. And when you do this, you receive what we call gamified NFTs. Now, like I mentioned earlier, these NFTs are not just another collectibles, but these are sold bound NFTs that not only gives you special access or boost in other programs, but contains your metadata and historic data of all activities and processes that every user engages in the ecosystem. So this NFT stores your profile and ensures that your accounts cannot be transferred to anybody, and every activity is stored on blockchain, ensuring transparency, safety, and fairness. Now, we have another part of our ecosystem, which is the NavaX program, which is not something that I intend to talk about today, but we'd love to, give more information on it in future in subsequent AMA session. Now, let's get on to one of the products and one of the key products of the NavaX ecosystem that you can find. And the first one is the Nava NFT. What are its functions and utility? Because of our time, I'm really going to be rushing because I know the time is already past 40 minutes because we spent over 22 minutes trying to do the quiz presentation, which is more than 50% of the stipulated time. So Nava NFT, it's a gamified NFT in our ecosystem, offering various utilities in the ecosystem, providing access. And what are the utilities of the Nava NFT? Number one is for what? Auto activation of NFTs. Now, one of the utility is to act as a passport system, ensuring that every activation, every involvement in your NavaX marketing is actually gamified. What it means, every level you purchase is being documented, ensuring that your NFT grows according to how you grow your business. For example, somebody on level 5 will have an NFT with a certain level of value, whereas somebody in level 8 in the matrix will have a higher level value in his NFT, also providing more higher bonuses and higher discounts in future programs. The next one is the Nava NFT provides what we call governance voting, governance management, using what we call the DAO principle. So with this NFT, users will be able to participate in DAO governance using their Navacoin. Now, how does this integrate and how does it incorporate each other? It means that when you have a Nava NFT, you will be able to, get access to NFT Navacoin. Then with this Navacoin, you will be able to participate in platform governance, which involve decision makings, voting for product development, voting for strategic management decisions, and of course for insights or innovations that you would want to see in our ecosystem. Another benefit of this NFT is token sales, which I've already explained. So these NFTs also grant you access to the token sales. Now let's get on to token sales, which is actually a key aspect of our ecosystem. Now, token sales is a particular process that allows users who have been actively involved in marketing NavaX to be able to receive allocations and purchase our token at discounted prices. Now, from the onset, these tokens are being offered at a discount price, and this token continually to increase in price every week by 10%. And at the end of the sales period, the token is going to be listed at a much more profitable price, offering early investors maximum profitability and, of course, more incentive in the long run. Now, how can you be part of the token sales? Now, every activation that you engage in metrics, the metrics marketing of NavaX, and every reinvestment that you also engage in the metrics marketing of NavaX is being multiplied by 2, giving you the total allocation that you can purchase during the pre-sale period that is currently active. So, for example, you bought level 1 for 20 DAI, and then you bought level 2 for 40 DAI. That is 60 DAI allocation multiplied by 2, giving you a total of 120 DAI allocation, which means you can purchase Navacoin that is worth $120. Not just that, every reinvestment that you conduct, for example, you reinvested in level 4, that adds another 40 DAI multiplied by 2. You reinvested in level 5, that adds another 320 DAI multiplied by 2, and so on, and it keeps going like that. So this is the process that is involved in being involved in the token sales. Now let's look at the income potential and what you can achieve by being actively involved in the NavaX program by looking at the total income that you could generate when you activate each of the metrics that comprises of 14 slots. And let's look at an example. In level 1, you are going to be earning a total of $8 for line 1, and you're going to be earning a total of $16 for line 2, and of course $64 for line 3. Now, if you take a clearer look at this picture, my illustrative picture here, you can see that we have different incomes that has been stated for different levels. Now, by following the process of marketing your metrics and promoting your metrics, you are going to earn an accumulated total income of $100,000 by promoting your level 1 to level 10 proactively. This is a very huge income opportunity that you can get. It therefore means that NavaX program is not just very profitable, but very entertaining and very, very exciting to be part of. So NavaX has a whole lot of other processes and other products, which I will discuss in future. Because of our time, I will not go further in explaining. So because of our time, I'm not really going to go further to other aspects of what I asked for you. I believe we had more time to discuss about the NavaX program. Then we're going to be focused on how to register, how to market, and how to register your prospects, how to activate the slots, and different strategies you can use to build your business. That's going to be the next topic on NavaX when we are discussing further. So with NavaX, you can create financial cash flow using a system that is built on blockchain, adopting DAO principle, transparency, and offering you with financial tools that you can create wealth while also gaining access to gamified products like NFTs, also gaining access to token sales through the token allocation system. So it is a very exciting program that I urge everyone to be involved, because this program offers you unlimited ways of earning an income, giving you a unique model that is different from what you find in other projects. So this is where I'm really going to stop on this review. I'm going to attend to some few questions, about 2 questions because of our time. So if you have a question or a comment or a review, you can drop it. Okay, I think most people have actually understood what we are saying here, and everyone is being carried along. So this is where we are going to end today's AMA. It was quite extensive, more than what we stated. I think we would have to be setting a different model if we're having quiz presentation. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you stay tuned for the next AMA coming up next week. And I hope you can send your questions that we can attend to later on. So please, if you have questions for the next AMA, send it to me and we would discuss that in the next AMA. Thank you.